Good afternoon, Charlie Velasquez here with Rugby in Florida and Tifro. I'm here with Gavin Curtis. How are you doing, Gavin?
I'm doing great, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
If you're new to rugby here, you may not know this gentleman, but if you've been around for a while, he's been here before us all, so you should know him. So, Gavin, you just came back from Oregon, right? After you've been absent since 2014. I just looked up your last game.
Yep, correct.
What did you see in Florida when you came back, from what you remembered?
The biggest change, I think, was youth, right? The sort of the growth of the youth, the more better organization of the youth. It just kind of started to do its thing right before I left, and then seeing like well-established teams now. That's I think been the biggest thing, and then obviously the other big thing being the Tridents, kind of their growth to be kind of the premier team in Florida as well has been one of the other big changes that I've seen since coming here.
Dominant for a while, yes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about your referee career. You've been doing this for what?
Yeah, I think since...
Without giving away your age?
I think I started in probably around 2000 with the refereeing.
Let me tell you, I think my first game that I actually watched here in Florida, like in 2009, you were the referee.
Oh, fantastic.
I think it's pretty, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride. Yeah, very interesting. And yeah, I really enjoy the Florida is an interesting place because
for sure.
but again, it's still very I feel it very welcoming. Wherever I go, I feel very privileged because I always feel like I'm very welcomed and people react well to seeing me, and so I think that's a great honor for sure.
Do you remember how you got into refereeing?
Oh, I really do, yeah.
Everybody does, right?
Yeah, no, it was interesting. It was Dave Metcalf. I don't know if you remember Metcalf. Yeah, he was quite a character, and I remember my first game. I was up in Central Florida somewhere, and I showed up with my shirt hanging out, with my socks down.
That hasn't changed.
I kept my socks down on purpose today,
and
just to be
around. Yeah, and you had footwear during the game. That's true.
Which is unusual.
Yeah.
And he came up to me afterwards. He said, "Do you want to be a ref or you just want to be a scrub?" And I said, "No, I'd like to be a ref." And so he said, "Well, if you sharpen your act up, I'll help you out." And so he was instrumental in my growth and my coaching, and he was just an amazing influence in allowing me to get to the level that I got to. I mean, unfortunately I had some bumps along the way, but I look back now and I'm so thankful just for the opportunity, because
he was your main mentor.
He was absolutely my main mentor and really made me what I am today as far as a referee.
And you enjoy this apparently. Because I'm always trying to, this interview is among the Who's a Ref, which I try to, get people to know the referees.
Sure, that's great, and I appreciate that.
It's important because, they're no monsters. They really care about the game.
Yep.
What would you say to somebody who is sort of on the fence of picking up a whistle? Why should they do it?
Because you can really be engaged with the game. There's a way to create and join the emotion of the game and feel the emotion of the game if you allow yourself. And that even now that brings me goosebumps, because outside of the playing, the ability to allow the game to play and to be a part of it, it really is a great joy for sure. But the big thing is finding the right way to do it and learning how to do it, and finding people who can help you, because I was lucky that I could find somebody to help me, so having the mentorship, especially early on, I think will help a lot. But it's if you like the game of rugby, you can really you can give back in that way, and it's really enjoyable. You have to have a little bit of a thick skin.
Yeah, for sure.
You do, but you have the beautiful thing about rugby, which I've learned, is that as a referee you have all the tools. You do have the control. Like if players are, sometimes in refereeing, players can be a bit abusive, but the beautiful thing is we have all the tools to deal with that now. You don't have to be scared going out there. Well, I'm worried they might say something. Like, we have the tools as referees to deal with this kind of thing, so it's not the problem that it used to be in the past. So I think we have the tools, and if we continue to work, and it's a big thing that I work for, is helping referees deal with that type of thing.
Like the yellow cards you forgot to bring onto the field today, huh?
Wow, I'm so glad you put that out in public. I appreciate that. I've got, look, they're my invisible cards.
Listen, and tell us about your experience in Oregon.
So
Rugby-wise,
yeah,
I mean,
so really positive.
Are we still in the frame? Can you see?
I hope so. Yeah, I think we're
Do
still
you have
there.
good vision? Because I'm not.
Yeah, I think so. We're
Okay.
pretty close. But I think Oregon was really good. Unfortunately, COVID threw everything into because especially they were that strict with COVID. But before that, the youth organization was very vibrant, okay, and very inclusive, and they found ways to keep the growth going. You know, I think they're a really good example of how a good youth organization runs. So a good standard, and then going out there and helping the kids. They're very positive, and we created. So one of the great parts about being out there, I had got to have partnership with some of the other senior people out there, and we had a bit of an issue with the referee abuse when I first got there in 2014, 2015. But we sat down, we made a clear plan to say, you know what? Not acceptable. We got together with the parties that we needed to, we explained, and we made the sanctions to the point where it would be very painful if you continued this type of thing, and that's the key.
You actually hit people or something?
We had the big administrative stick, which means because
some raking.
Yeah.
To go some raking. Right?
Yeah, exactly, like old
Lie
school,
down.
exactly. Start punching people. So yeah,
And it worked out.
And it worked out really well, and at the same time,
interesting.
yeah. And then I was very lucky. My son came out there, and he started into the refereeing, and now he's actually the president of the Northwest Referee Society. So it's a good. We didn't just go out there and leave a vacuum, and so having him step in has been made much more comfortable for me to leave because it's getting referees to come out and stay out. It's a challenge all the time.
Well, what is your impression overall of rugby in Florida these days? You just reffed a game between Tridents and Rolando, which was a very one-sided game,
Right.
of course.
Yeah, but
But
my feeling is that we can do better, right? I think we have a disconnect between youth, college, and men, right? I think that's where we're like, if we look at the number of kids playing rugby now in our state, and then end up in our men's clubs in our state, the percentages are
tiny.
like tiny.
You have a few examples here.
We have, yeah, which is good. We have a few, and we're starting to. But I think the big focus for me is how do we make that better? How do we align? I mean, we've got a professional club now, so how do we align the ability of players and referees now to move upwards seamlessly, so that we join the youth, so the youth joins the colleges and join the men, so we have this continuity. And right now we all have separate camps. We have the youth camp, we have the college camp, and we have the men's camp. And so my challenge to anybody out there who's in these positions is to say, find solutions. I don't want to make a complaint and not have solutions, and I'm looking for solutions and want to find people who want to find solutions to having continuity through all the age grades to men's rugby here. And so that's the big challenge, I think.
I would also add that we really need more involvement from the clubs.
Yes.
Not just awaiting,
Oh yeah,
guys
right.
up there to
No.
The clubs, I think, have to be much more proactive.
Absolutely, all across the board, for sure. Yeah, but look, it's the rugby is still here. It's still strong. Lots of people still playing rugby, so that's a good thing.
Okay, hey Gavin, very nice having you back.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and thank you for all you do. No, you've really made a big difference as to some transparency, viewing the videos. Oh no, the ability for people to see film. It's again, if you want to talk about the big change that I've seen, is you and your influence in the game has been really something else. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
You bet.
See you around. Bye.
Thanks, man.
Very good.
Now I can have my beer.
Yeah, you can have all the beers you want.